Welcome everybody to the Questionable Perspective Podcast. I'm your host Chris, and with my friend here Joshua. How you
Hello.
doing tonight, sir?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about you?
Doing well. A little bit tired from work, but I'm still doing good. I just got 2 more days to go through.
Don't let them work you too hard.
Too late for that.
Well,
Yeah,
first on an agenda, Mortal Kombat 1 released a new update. Mr. Chris had a chance to play. I haven't played it whatsoever, except for like one day out of the beta. So he has a little rant slash review he wants to get out of his system. So we're going to start with that. Mr. Chris,
yeah. I guess we can start with the good things about the game. Like the combat system is definitely you can tell it's a mixture between 3, 9, and 10, and a little bit of 11 thrown in certain places. So that's not really the main complaint I would have about the game. Some characters are, I would say, very much above the rest. Uh, Baraka definitely needs to be nerfed a little bit. So with Johnny K, a lot of the top tier characters have, I guess I would call them auto combos, where you can hit like a 3 button combination, but you get like a 7 hit combo from it because it's a multi hitting move. And then once you enhance it, it just makes it even worse. Uh, Scorpion has unblockable setups, which I think they might have gotten out the game by now. Like I said, the patch did. I'm assuming it addressed the player two issue. I'm not 100% because I did.
it says in the patch notes it did.
I sometimes I question that with certain things when you're trying to just practice certain moves on certain sides. But the story mode probably is the main meat and potatoes of Mortal Kombat. That's kind of how it's always been since MK9. And I would say for about 90% of it is fine. It's actually pretty good. Liu Kang has basically restarted his timeline, and everything is going the way he wants. Everybody has happy lives. Melina's happy, Katana's happy. They have their mom. Raiden is now human. He's immortal, and he's best friends with Kung Lao this time around instead of Liu Kang, who I'm assuming in this timeline, since he's a Titan or a god now, he doesn't actually exist anymore in the timeline. It's kind of weird. I thought he probably would have like a maybe like another version of himself, but that's beside the point. But basically, the story really focuses not really around Kum Lao. It really focuses more on Raiden, Johnny Cage, and Kenshi. It seems to rotate around those three are the main characters. Really, the four of them are, but Kum Lao is really not like that interesting of a character once you start because he's barely in any of the cutscenes. He barely talks that much. It's really more Johnny Cage and Kenshi more and them having a bromance. Was that after Kenshi saves his life? But even though with Liu Kang doing everything he can to give people happy lives and change the destinies of certain people, things just still kind of don't work out. Like Kenshi still loses his eyesight. Uh, Johnny Cage is a successful movie actor, but he's broke. So it's like he kind of he makes their lives better, but I guess because they have to make their own choices, it still kind of leads to a lot of the same consequences that led them to where they were in the original timeline. So, but we also what we did was it more so we find out that basically both timelines exist from the previous game. Shang Tsung's timeline exists alongside Liu Kang, and Shang Tsung has been meddling in Liu Kang's timeline, basically trying to influence his alternate self and what's his name, Quan Chi, because basically they were nobodies. They're just like Quan Chi was working in a mine. Shang Tsung was basically selling like herbal cures and stuff, trying to eke out a living. They had meaningless lives, but ultimately, it's ultimately is revealed that basically Shang Tsung has been behind the whole thing, and he's just trying to destroy the timelines and basically have his timeline to be the dominant one. Up until that point, the story is fine. It's towards the end when they start going to different timelines and they start getting different versions of characters and bringing them back to their timeline. That's when it kind of starts to go off the rails and it really gets dumb to the point where at the end of the game, basically you choose whatever fighter you want, and that's the fighter that you will fight all the way to the end of the game with. So the story mode, you'll basically be like, because me, I played Sub Zero, so I had basically Ice God Sub Zero, where he won and he was the Titan and he had the time crystals and he did all that stuff. That's why I say that part you could tell that's kind of where it just goes off the rails. And then they just basically set up, well, we're gonna add DLC to this stuff, keep adding DLC, invasion mode, stuff like that, which is fine. But overall, the story just was very nonsensical. Once you get to the end, and you're just gonna be really disappointed at how it ends. That you basically just kick Quan Chi and Shang Tsung down a hole, and they're dead, and that's basically how they how the story ends. Which I'm like, I would not expected that. I would have thought you would have tried to stretch it out, or maybe because the story is only. I say if you sit down and play it, maybe 5 hours, maybe between like 4 and 5 hours. If you, I'm trying to think because it did not take me long. It took me like 2 days, and that's just me playing on and off. So I would honestly say it's maybe like I'm gonna say about 4 or 5 hours, pretty much, within to beat the story mode. Which I know it's a fighting game. That's not the biggest issue in the fighting game. Is not the story mode, but usually if because how long was the MK11 story mode? It was what about? It was at least about a good felt, or at least it felt like about a good 5 6 hours, maybe a little longer, especially with the aftermath stuff. I said I'm not sure if you play it all the way through it.
I haven't touched it at all, so I have nothing to say or add.
Yeah, well, let's get to more so of the problems with this game. Where should I start at? I guess we can start with the whole thing of how you unlock stuff. Cause you've played Mortal Kombat, right?
Yeah.
You've seen MK11. They had the crypt where you can just
Yep.
kind of have like your own little adventure in the little crypt and move around. Well, that's completely gone. There's no crypt anymore. You do earn currency, but basically all you do is once you get 1,000 coins, you go to the fire dragon statue, you put the coins down, it melts the coins down, and it gives you something. That's it. No more crypt, no more kind of just exploring around, finding little things. Nope, you just go to this statue, it melts it down. Here you go. Which I'm then what's say there's another part of the game that still hasn't been added to the game. I think it's Shrine. It's right, Shrine Shin. I think it's Shrine Shin Warrior or something like that. That section of the game is got a coming soon tag, so it is not even part of the game. Uh, Before the update came out, playing online was basically a flip of the coin. You could find a good connection and casual, and you could play that and it feels good. Or you could find somebody that has like 156 ping and play them, which I have played them and no, it's not a good connection. It's too many people playing on Wi-Fi, and with no way to really reject those matches if you don't want to play those. If you're in Combat League, that's a problem. Uh, the way the sets are set up, so even if you go into Combat League, you don't actually get you don't actually get wins per victory in the Combat League. You have to win the set in order to get one victory. So you have to play basically the best 3 out of 5. And if you lose, even if you went, even if you was 3-2 and you lost to your opponent, you don't get any credit for those 2 wins. They give you a little XP and you get, a little bit of seasonal coins and stuff to you, but you don't get any credit for it. You'll be like 0-4. And then when I went on the leaderboard to look and say, okay, well, let me see who's at the top of the combat uh, league charts. You go in there, like the guy that's on top, I think he was 6-9 in the combat league, and he's the number one rated player within like the rank that I was in. I'm like, how is he number one? He's only 6-9. And you can tell like a lot of people aren't even playing combat league. They're just playing casual matches because the connection was so bad. But let me ask you a question there, Mr. Joshua.
If you don't
You
say my
play you
name
play
right, you going to deal
Joshua.
with a real salty smoke player.
Joshua.
Yes. What's your
You play
question?
Street Fighter.
Yes.
You've been in rank mode, correct?
Mm-hmm.
How does rank mode work to you?
I mean, Street Fighter, it's best 2 out of 3. That's
No,
it.
I tell you, but every time you win, you're gaining points to go up to the next level, right?
Yep. Or losing if I lose.
Yeah. How would you feel if Street Fighter said, you know what, we're gonna do seasonal, so you can grind all the way up to Platinum 5, Master Rank, Diamond, and then turn your console off, your PC or whatever, go away, come back the next day. Oh, the new season started, and now you're all the way back at Iron, and you got to climb that rank all over again. What
Well,
would you think of that?
player lobbies, here I come. No point in wasting my time going back up all the way to Master that I'm trying to get to right now.
Thank you. And that is exactly how Mortal Kombat Combat League works. You have one season to play. And once that season is over, they reset everyone's rank back down to apprentice. So it doesn't matter if you grind all the way up to master. They're just gonna reset you down at the bottom level, and you have to start that trek all over again. And people are saying, what is the point of playing this game if all my work is going to be wiped out in a season? Which makes sense because I'm like, well, I don't want to play this game. I don't want to deal with the stress of having to keep going up rank like this and then it just start back over again. That's why it's more people playing casual in this game than they are playing Combat League because people don't see the point in it. Like NetherRealm wants to be, they want to be a credible fighting game, but yet they don't have the basic, simple things that just look around like Street Fighter 4, a PS3 game that's what, how many years old now? 15, almost 20 years old, had a point where you could queue up for a rank match and go into training mode while you're waiting. A game in 2023, a fighting game, you go into rank mode, you can do nothing but look at a screen while you're searching for an opponent. You can't do anything in training mode. And you would think NetherRealm will look at Tekken, Street Fighter, all these other fighting games and how they have this stuff set up and say, you know what, we're gonna pick this, we're gonna take this, and we're gonna take this, and we're just gonna put it in our game. No, it's like they're just so single mindedly focused on what they do, which is they think if we make Mortal Kombat super duper gory, that's our bread and butter. No, your bread and butter needs to be your online and your features in the game. And right now, that game is not worth $60. Honestly, right now that game is probably about a $40 game. maybe 30. And NetherRealm needs to understand like this is unacceptable for a fighting game in this generation, especially when you see what Tekken 8 has and what Street Fighter 6 has right now, and then you're gonna come out with this game and then half of your features don't work. Your online is garbage. There's nothing to really do in between matches. Like invasion mode is not fun. All you're doing is just going from match to match to match to match, playing just regular fighting games. Like this is boring. But they keep saying they're gonna fix it. I'm like, this game should have been ready to go the second it hit market. I shouldn't have to be waiting for crossplay. I shouldn't have to be worrying about all these bugs and stuff in the game that I'm having to deal with because it takes away from the fact that the game is when you get down to the core fighting of the game is fun. But once you start adding all that other stuff on top of it, it's like people look at it like, well, I'll just go back to Street Fighter. The Street Fighter is a better game right now, and people are going to jump into Tekken. They're going to jump into Mortal Kombat. They're going to play it a bit, and then they're going to go back to Street Fighter if it's not what they want. And you can tell that on Twitch because MK was pulling more people when it first came out. Now, what about a week, maybe 2 weeks after this came out? Now Street Fighter's right back where it was, and Mortal Kombat dropped all the way back down again. It's like they rushed this game out, and now they're trying to do hot fixes to try to basically get it the way it should have been at if they would have just waited a couple of more months. I know Ed Boon is probably sitting around there looking in the mirror like, uh, I thought we should have waited a little bit longer. We shouldn't let WB force us to push it out because that's what it feels like. Like WB was so hungry to basically get this game out the door and actually make some money off of it. They pushed it out too soon, and now they're having to deal with the consequences of that. And
That's how WB games are. They don't care. I mean, a good example is Gotham Knights.
mm,
That
yep.
game launched in a terrible cesspool mess.
But if I had, like I said, if I had to say anything about it, if you want to pick up Mortal Kombat, I would wait for it to go on sale. I would not pay full price for this game. If I wasn't a fighting game player in the community and stuff like that and trying to just get ready for tournaments, I would not have picked this game up day one. I would have just waited for Black Friday because most likely it's probably going to be on sale Black Friday. That's probably your best bet to get it. It'll probably be like $40, something like that, 40, 50. But I can't honestly a with a clean conscience say, yeah, you should spend $60 or $70, or like some people $120 on this game. No, I can't say that because I'll be lying through my teeth. It's not worth it. It is, trust me, just wait a couple of months. It's gonna dip in price. Somebody's gonna trade in a copy at GameStop and just get it used. You're not losing anything by buying it used. The only thing you're losing by buying it used is you probably won't get Shang Tsung, which he's garbage anyway in the game. So you're not missing nothing there. But I'm gonna just leave it at that. So if you got anything you want to add to it,
No, do you feel better now that you ranted? I'm
yeah,
surprised you did like just you you ready to pull up a chair and just let into SNK like old Paintbot did some years back.
like now I'm gonna give them a chance. I'm trying to give them some time to fix it. Cause I said, well, you know what? They say this stuff is coming. They keep saying crossplay is coming soon. The other features are coming soon. Okay, it's what October now. You got 2 more months before next year. I would suggest you get on it because the longer those features are not there, the longer these problems persist. The player base is going. You're going to start to see the player base start to dip and it's already starting to go down because people are playing the game and are feeling like, God, I don't want to say this. If you play the game, smoke is annoying in this game. Like you have to really, if you're just an average player, you're not really a player like we play fighting games. Smoke is really annoying because
He's a knowledge check.
you have to recognize what teleport he does and able to block it. If you just come out who just plays game and you don't recognize like the teleport, then you can be like it can be really annoying to play against him. You have to know the low teleport, the high teleport, the what's that? He has like a forward back teleport that puts him right over in front of you as an overhead. Like he has a lot of tools. He like I would say he's probably about I would say
With
he's
the
D
Sonic 2
tier because you're gonna run into a lot of smokes online. A lot of smokes. That's
I
what like
know.
he's probably
I
the
would
most
say
annoying
apparently the
one.
new duo is Baraka and Cyrex, from what I was seeing some people comment about.
Yeah, because Baraka has like I'm trying to think. It's like a certain move he can do. It's three buttons, but it's like a 5 or 6 hit combo, and you could just spam it. And then if you enhance it, it turns into an overhead. So it's, and Johnny Cage basically, you already seen what he could do in the uh the beta, which I think they did nerf some of his stuff already. I think his star meter gets got nerfed, and I think something else on him got nerfed.
I believe this. I believe a lot of it got nerfed. I don't
Yeah,
remember
because
everything, but
and I remember everybody telling me I was crazy. I'm like, I'm not crazy.
crazy.
This character is way too strong. He's way too overtuned. They need to kind of dial him back a little bit. But I was the crazy one. Everybody, no, they're not going to do that. No, no. I told you, he's way too overtuned. Now, if he was Sub Zero, they would have nerfed everything about him. Just like they did him in the beta. Sub Zero was he was a solid character in the beta. He was strong. He was strong, but he was fair. But what happened? The beta was
It's
over
too
with. I'm thinking,
strong, too
okay,
fair.
no, because what did they do? They nerfed his damage. I can do a 20 hit combo and barely get to 30% of 20 hits. They increase the time which you can ice clone. So if I ice clone, I can't ice clone again for 4 seconds. I think 4 or 5 seconds. I think it's four because they raised it to 3.5 seconds. When in the beta, it was around about 1.52 seconds where you can clone. Which you know what I said, if you increase the time on it, that's fair. What I didn't think was fair was that they made it extremely punishable. Like basically, if I was the ice clone, you could just armor whatever armor move you have, you could just armor straight through. The second you see the ice clone, just do an armor move because he recovers so slow that he could be punished by any armor move or any teleport. It doesn't matter. Even the EX version, which cost me 2 bars a meter to do an EX ice clone, still can be punished. I'm like, what is the point of this move? What's the point of it? If I do hit pretty much his two main strings that he starts with, you can armor straight through the second hit of all of them. None of them are safe. The only one that is safe, somewhat, that you can't armor through is punishable on block for a full combo punish. It's like I have no idea what they're doing with Sub Zero. It's like this like explain to me why he's so vulnerable to everything. It's like that's why people drop Sub Zero when he came out, except for certain people who just play him because they like the character. But outside that, a lot of people just drop him because he's not the same character from the beta. And now it's like, well, I can play Sub Zero and just have fun, which I'm going to do because he is my favorite character. I don't care about Scorpion. I don't know why everybody loves him to death, but it is what it is. I like it's so much I could go over with Sub Zero that that I'm like, why is he like this? It's like you have to basically every time you play somebody, you have to condition them not to do certain things. Because if they know that you know that ice clone is not safe, they can pretty much read what you're gonna do. So
It'll be
it's
all right,
like
man. It'll be all
it,
right.
that's why I'm saying if they when they the first patch that comes out for that game, if they don't buff Sub Zero, I'm gonna lose it. I was like, this is ridiculous. At
Said,
least
man, be okay.
if you're gonna make me that vulnerable and that slow on certain things, then at least give me my damage back. Like it needs to be a trade off. But nope, Scorpion. Oh, Scorpion can do all these resets. He can do all these unblockables. Oh, Sub Zero, nah, he's fine the way he is. Yeah, I like the fact I can only ice clone, which is the only thing I can use to apply pressure on you in the corner. I like the fact that that's basically a useless tool. I like how the ice clone only lasts for 1 second once I activate it. I'm like, this by the time I ice clone and land and recover, the clone is already crumbling. It's like this. I don't understand. I don't understand this. I don't understand how you designed this character. And I know it's because if they kept him the way he was, people would have been complaining about Ice Clone. Oh, you can do all this stuff. It's unfair. It stops me from doing this. I'm like, that's the character. He freezes you. He's basically played the same way through every Mortal Kombat game with slight variations on it, but that's what he does.
Be all
He
right, man.
freezes you. And last thing I'm gonna say on this thing, Ed Boon, why is his ice ball 39 frames of startup? What is going on with that? That is his main projectile. And it is 39 frames of startup just to get this move. Every other Mortal Kombat, you could always combo into Ice Ball. This game, they said, nope, not doing it. By the time you try to throw an Ice Ball out, your opponent can see it, jump over it. By the time they're halfway in the air, you're just now throwing the Ice Ball out and getting punished for it. Just imagine in Street Fighter if the Shotos were 39 frames of startup, how useless their fireballs would be. That's why I say, dude, some of these characters, I look at their designs and I'm like, I have no idea what you're trying to do with these characters. It's like NetherRealm was so focused on we need to make these characters different that they took away a lot of things that made them unique. And you can really, and since I've been playing so much Sub Zero, I just look at him and I'm like, this is a shell of what Sub Zero should be. It's like, I don't, take it away, sir. Take it away. I'm about to get mad all over again.
All right. Well, now that Chris has got that out of his system, we'll move on to some of the Capcom anime announcements. The first one up is going to be Devil May Cry. Mr. Chris, what are your thoughts after seeing that trailer on it?
I'm interested in it. Like I say, like you can tell it's an anime because Dante looks like a high schooler. That's the first thing I
I'd
see.
say he's in his early 20s. Definitely early, mid 20s.
Yeah, but you can tell like Dante looks really young. I'm like, yeah, but that's the anime style. He looks like he's fresh out of high school,
Maybe
just getting
so.
started on his demon career.
but we'll
But
see.
I'm more interested to see. I'm more interested to see what Virgil's gonna look like,
That's if he's
and
in there this go around.
you know, and who's gonna voice those two characters.
Yeah, that's definitely going to
Because
be a big aspect too.
Virgil always kind of came off as more how
They should
more
just bring
just
in the voice actors from the games. Just call it a day.
well, you know they're not gonna do that.
Oh, I
Well,
don't
they
know
might do.
now.
Yeah, they probably would. But well, I guess they're supposed to be. Well, they'll because they're supposed to be. He looks if they're supposed to be younger, they might not use the same voice actors because they're kind of older and kind of like more seasoned in the characters. They might want to bring like a younger person in to kind of give more of a younger feel to them. Because Virgil, like I said, Virgil's always had that kind of stoic, more reserved kind of attitude. Like I'm just calm and I don't really get angry like that. Like a quiet anger.
We'll definitely see. All right, next up on our announcement board is going to be Onimusha anime.
Mm, which I am definitely looking forward to, which comes out next month.
Yes, and it definitely has a interesting director behind it. He's done pretty good works. I'll definitely I won't say his name because it's like Miikay. It's
Oh,
like Mike.
yeah, I'm
Is how
about to
you
say
pronounce it.
Mike.
Yeah, he does some excellent work. He did the Dragon's Dogma anime and all that, along with some couple of other things. He's done the studio that did Dragon's Dogma anime, which I do suggest watching. Is really good for anybody that hasn't seen it yet. This definitely takes place during I can't think of the
Is it during the Warring States period?
I want to say yes during the 1500s, 1600s era, during like Nobunaga and all that. So please forgive me if I mispronounced the period. I'm like trying to remember some of the stuff off the top of my head. But the character design is he's sort of based around an actor from like the 1940s all the way to like the 1960s, 70s from the Kurosawa films era. It's very popular. I just don't remember off the top of my head, but it's they're doing the 3D anime style this go around, which
Yeah.
I'm fine with. Some things do it well, some don't. It just depends on the studio. But like as I suggested,
Who is the
uh,
studio behind this one?
it's like still something I can't remember. But like I said, they did the Dragon's Dogma anime, which it was fine, no big deal. So the oh, excuse me,
Yeah, which I see a lot of animes kind of starting to switch to that style for some of them.
they switched to certain shots for it. That's
I'm trying
about
to.
what they do.
I'll have to look it up again because it's a certain anime I seen where it really just stuck out. Like
Let's see, Psalm 100. It's like the Book of the Dead or whatever. Let's do with a bucket list. Oh, it's Bucket List of the Dead. Psalm 100.
so yeah, which is
Yeah,
actually a pretty good show.
yeah. Sadly, that's going on a definite hiatus at the moment. I don't know why. I have to go look that up.
The mangaka might need some time off.
No, the manga's still going. The anime is just
Nah, anime. Well, I ain't gonna say because
it's like 9 episodes from what I know.
he might need more time to write for them to get more material to adapt.
I don't know. It started off. It's like a live action, and the anime started at the same time as the manga. I was like, that's insane. What?
Yeah,
Whatever.
that's what it is because they're trying not to run into the Naruto problem.
Uh, Naruto didn't have a live action start off. To my knowledge, Naruto started.
No, you know how well Naruto, like they had got so far to the point where they had caught up with the manga and they kept having to take those breaks, those long month breaks and stuff, the filler and all that stuff to let the mangaka get write more stuff.
Yeah, it still takes time to animate stuff though.
Trust me, if I had to, that's been the main reason of why I haven't watched Rent a Girlfriend season 3, because season 2 was irritating. You can definitely tell by that second season because the animation quality took a severe drop. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, y'all rushed this out the door because the show was so popular and you didn't take the time, and it shows in the animation quality. Season 2 looks terrible.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can talk about that at another time. All right. Last but not least,
Well,
since we
like I said, it looks pretty good. Like I'm not, like I said, I'm not sure if it's gonna follow the games. Is it following the game storyline, or is just this is a brand new
I
story?
think it's a brand new storyline. It's standalone from what I understand. But we'll
Uh,
see. Hopefully, this will spark development for a new Onimusha game. I've been praying for one for years.
I think
Capcom,
it is.
please.
I think this is what they're using to kind of gauge like the fan interest and stuff.
Yeah, that's one way. And also, they did an HD remake of the very first Onimusha. It sold okay. But
Yeah, but it didn't sell. It didn't do
it did
Monster Hunter
okay from what I
numbers.
understand. But
It didn't
I'll
do
have to
Monster
go
Hunter
look up.
numbers.
I would have to go look at the numbers. Excuse me. All right, next on our little list here is a good old Aki. And I know I played her a good bunch. I don't know about you, Mr. Chris.
No, I played her a little bit, but I haven't really focused too much in on her.
What are you
But
talking about? She's the knees. She's the bee's knees.
mm, like, yeah, I can see how people would think that. I think after really thinking on it more, so I'm like, I think this character is okay. I think it's going to be more like a character specialist type character, but I would have to see more of her like in action to really say whether or not what her good and bad matchups will be,
I can tell
because she
you, that's very still hard to determine because I've been playing her. I can tell you this
I know
that
JP is a bad matchup for her. When it's a good matchup for her, I should say.
yes and no. It's not easy setting up portals against her. I'll definitely say that, but like she has some like her one fireball. It's like three fireballs and one, three moves and one. It feels like it should be forward. The input should be like swapped for some of the moves, but they aren't. Her poison state, which I think if someone does block the fireball, they're still or the poison bowl, they still get poisoned.
No,
But the puddle walk into it, get poisoned. I will have to double check on the bubble again because I'm trying to remember.
because I
But
think the
she,
bubble you don't get poison. I think the only one if you block the bubble you won't get poison.
I have to
I think
double
the only
check.
one is with the only one is the puddle because basically she puts it right at your feet and you can't block it.
Right. The let's see. But once she does poison you and she hits you with like another claw move or something, she'll get a toxic blossom, which gives extra bursts when need be for extended combos. One big thing I've seen people do with like crouching jab jab into heavy claw, then do medium slither. It's her medium dash command or whatever it is to get like some advantage going. Because basically, what you want to do with her is get the opponent to the corner. She has some gnarly combo setup, corner combos. It is insane.
I've seen a couple of people playing her, like of course because Punk's playing her. Uh, what's his name? Nephew's playing her. He just did his road to master, which he got the master rank pretty fast with her.
And most people get to master with her pretty easily if you like have already played decently. You'll get diamond off the bat. I ended up getting put into silver with her. I was like, okay, Because I mean,
I think that's actually better because it gives you more time to really kind of delve into the character before you get into the harder players and kind of test
it
out
does
certain
not.
strategies.
It does not. I'm going to tell you, of watching other people besides myself playing her, it's not. It just you're just thrown into the deep end, and it's called a day.
Because I'm pretty sure once I do placements with, I'll probably be like silver in the silver too. Because even I've noticed that in that game, if you pretty much as long as you beat if you beat some golds and silvers, they might match you up against the iron here and there, but you're never really gonna be putting the iron or bronze unless you just really don't know how to play the game or utilize the stuff that's there. It'll always put you in silver.
No, if you already haven't had previous rankings, it will put you in something like rookie right off the bat.
Because all the ones I played, like Marissa, Manon, Ken, Cammy, Ryu, like I've never got the lowest I've ever gotten was silver two.
Hmm.
So I'm just wondering how they. I'm not really sure how they calculate it. I
It's
don't know if they
it's
go by just straight wins or is it just okay? How do you understand the function of the game and the tools that are at your disposal?
not quite sure. I think it just all really depends how well you do during those placement matches. Because I mean, I've heard people going 5-5 and still get like diamond. I'm like, okay, I don't understand what's going on with the placement system. Well, that's all I pretty much got to say on Aki. What about you? Anything? Any other final thoughts?
Like, if you're gonna play her, I would suggest you pretty much drop any other character you're playing because, like I said, I think she is gonna be like one of those specialist characters. Because I think I kind of see where Capcom is going with a lot of the characters. Like they're trying to make it more character specialist specific. Like I think that's more so why they did like the individual rankings because they don't really want you to be just jumping from character to character to character to character and all this counter picking and stuff like that.
Well,
I think that's the main
that's
purpose
not
of it.
something the general audience can do. There's very few
Yeah, that
people that can go like play the whole cast and be able
I
to
think that
counter
was the
pick.
main. I think that was the main reason why they did like individual rankings for each character because people got I get cause they look at Street Fighter Five. Pretty much, you saw the same matchups, the same characters. Pretty much every time you would see any kind of tournament going on. Like in tournament, when did you ever see like Blanca's playing in
Very
tournament?
rarely. I played against one Blanco before 6 came out when 5 was still going. I'm like, how do you even play against this? But now
Like I
Blanca's is like actually good. So,
Yeah, that's why I said they're trying to make it to where they're trying to make it more exciting for just the viewer, somebody watching. Where it's not well, oh man,
well,
another
no one's like
scammy.
completely busted. Thank goodness.
Yeah, but like I said, I just think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it more interesting so people don't just basically play the exact same characters every single time and give more variety. But that's pretty much all I got on Aki. Just if you're gonna play her, she's gonna take time. Don't get frustrated with her. You just gotta learn. I if I would give one piece of advice, when I played Ken and got the platinum two, I got the platinum two really just doing basic stuff. So DP, I use one bread and butter combo, and a lot of times it was just okay. I'm gonna take a chance on certain things, knowing that if I get this crouch medium kick, I can automatically link into my light and get a DP after, and then that sets up my step kick. So basically, learn your character, just have fundamentals in the game,
Try
and
her out.
it
That's all I'm
definitely
going to say. But if you're
yeah
really going to sit there and learn one bread and butter, start going from there. Learn
yeah.
how far some of learn good normals and all that. Make sure you understand the system
Well, I
mechanics.
would say learn one bread and butter and learn one light confirm with her, and just
Well,
get
the
those
best light
down.
confirm is literally crouching, jab, jab, heavy, heavy claw.
Yep. But and kind of figure out, okay, can I cross up into that? Those are kind of things I look for. Like, okay, if I do this move, can I cross up in the light uppercut? Okay, I can do that. So okay, so that's something I need to remember when I cross somebody up, that I can do that. But that's pretty much all I got on Aki.
That's all I got. That's all I got to say myself. All right, folks. Thank y'all for listening in to the newest episode. We will catch y'all next time.